What is up, my YouTube friends? I get a lot of questions about the best way to do interviews. If you're looking for an interview or podcast solution that gives you amazing results every single time and gives you a lot of content options, then you're gonna wanna stick around. What I'm gonna show you today is gonna allow you to do remote interviews for videos or podcasting with perfect audio up to 48 kilohertz uncompressed and video up to 4K without ever having to worry about the speed of your guest connection. You heard me, the recordings will be perfect no matter how bad your guest connection is. Now I know you wanna hear more, so let's get right to it. My analytics say that 80% of the folks watching my content are not subscribed. Am I doing something wrong? Let me know in the comments. But if you are looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, then subscribe to the channel. And why not click that bell so you don't miss any new content? It's totally free. Most people who do podcasts or interviews use software like Skype or Zoom. And as you can probably see, the video can vary wildly from guest to guest, and the audio is okay at best. This is determined by the connection speed that your guest has. The video is choppy and cropped, and with multiple guests, you can have people talking over one another and making audio a complete mess with no way to separate one audio source from another. You kind of just get what you get. A lot of times the recordings can end up useless and have to be redone multiple times, or even recorded by the user and then sent to the producer. No guest wants to deal with, and neither do you. Riverside FM is the perfect solution. There are links to Riverside FM in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Now, Riverside FM is different because it records automatically on the user's machine locally, both video and audio, and it works through the browser. And what this means is that the quality is not affected at all by the user's internet connection speed. Even better, it records the video in full frame with no crop and delivers a separate uncompressed audio track as well. Not just for one guest, but for every guest. And Riverside FM supports up to 8 guests at the same time. Let me just show you how Riverside FM works and how easy it is to use for you and your guests. Here we are at the Riverside FM website, and I'm just gonna click login. And I don't actually have one yet, so I'll just click sign up. And you put your name, your email address, and set up your password and click sign up. And it's gonna take you right in. Now that we're in here, you can click create to start a new studio, or you can click on create a new reusable studio. And here is where you're going to set up how you want your studio to run. So I'm gonna give it a name. I'm just gonna call it home. You can do audio only or audio and video. And you can see there are a lot of different guests that you can add. You can add a host, a producer, a guest, and some audience members if you like. You can also schedule and invite your guests right from the studio creation. And you can add participants by putting their email in here. So what you can do is set a schedule and then add your guests and just send those out all in one fell swoop. Or you can just create the show and reuse it. I'm just gonna do that, so I'm gonna create this show. And now it's gonna ask me about my studio settings. So it gives you the option to create a waiting room. That means your guests won't automatically be added to your broadcast when they come in. You have to accept them. And I kind of always check that just because I like to make sure I'm prepared before they're in the live studio. I can set my video recording resolution from anywhere from 480 to 4K, which is nice. I can set internet backups on composed files or separate tracks. And I can also adjust my audio sample rate from 48 to 44. Either one of these is going to produce a high quality audio file. And I can also make sure that everything just saves to Dropbox. Now this doesn't actually turn on until you actually have some files to save. You can see over here on the right, I can use the show scheduler right here to schedule a show. And then I can go down here and I can adjust the link for audience, guest, or producer. And then just copy that link and send it, or I can send an email invite. When I go into recordings, I don't have any yet. And of course, I don't have any composed tracks yet either. So that is the home studio setup. It's pretty straightforward stuff. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see if you have a question or an issue, you can go ahead and type it in here and someone will get right back to you if you're having some kind of problem with the software. I didn't run into any issues while I was using it. It's actually really smooth and really well done. And if I go back into Studio, you can see right here, there's my studio created. And I can invite people right from here or however I want to do it. Now we're all set up. Let's bring in a guest and do a recording session. So in order to start our recording session, I just click this home. That is the one I set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do invites by email. So I just click this button and I can set what sort of invites I want to send with this drop down here. I'm just going to type in an email address and I'm going to send that invite. And you can invite all the people right here, whoever you want to appear. So I'm going to close out of that and then I'm just going to go to my recording studio. It's over here on the top right. And I'm going to select I am using headphones because I am using headphones. And over here, I'm going to use these drop downs to set up the camera, the microphone, and of course, how I'm going to be listening to my session. So in this case, I'm going to select where my headphones are being routed to, and then I'm just going to click Join Studio. Now you can see below that you can also join as a producer if you like, but I'm going to join as a participant. And there we are. You can see we are in the preview screen right now. And let's go into settings. And here I'm able to modify all of the audio and video devices. I can actually live stream this if I wanted to, and I can go into the recording and I can just adjust these settings if I didn't set them up before. I can actually set it to upload with manual control if I want, or just leave it to none, which makes more sense. It automatically does it for you. I can also activate noise suppression if I like, but generally speaking, you want your guest to be wearing headphones, and so noise suppression shouldn't really be necessary. You can also convert the session to a P2P session, and I'm just going to click done here, and you can share your screen. So I'm just going to click the screen share. I'm going to select which screen I want. You can also do application windows or Chrome tabs. And here we are, we're sharing out the screen, and you can see I can give a demo or something if I wanted to. And you can just click share screen to turn it off. I can also change the speakers, camera, and microphone right here from this overlay in case there's any kind of audio problems or anything like that. Up here on the top left, it shows you how many guests are invited, and it shows you the name of the recording. And of course, recordings look and sound much better than what you see live, and this is true because it's recording locally. They're not worried about how fast the internet is. And then you have chat here, so you can chat directly with your guests through text if you want, right from this overlay here. And you can minimize the overlay by clicking this button here, and you can bring it back by clicking that button right there. So all that's left is for our guest to join. And here we go. Monica has entered the waiting room. I can just click this little checkbox, and in a few moments, boom, there she is. So now I can communicate with her, she can communicate with me. We are all set up. We can do all the things that we need to do just to make sure that we're hearing and seeing everything properly. And then I just click the record button, and it gives us a countdown. And now it is recording. So anything that we do now is physically recording on each person's machine. No matter how many participants we have, it is recording everything. So we're getting their full video and audio. And you're gonna notice that my image looks pretty much perfect, which it should because I'm local. Whereas Monica's image is pixelated and grainy and all that kind of stuff, which is also normal. It's recording her good video directly on her machine. Now, needless to say, it doesn't fix bad lighting and bad camera. So if your guest participant is not lit properly or has a bad camera, well, Riverside FM can't do anything to fix that. Now you may be able to do that in post, and Riverside FM gives you the files that give you the ability to do that, but the reality is that if your guest has a poor camera or poor camera with poor lighting, as Monica's case pretty much shows, well, that's what you get. So once you hit stop recording, the recording is uploaded here, and we recorded very short, so it was super quick, and it does give you information as to making sure that you wait until the upper left corner tells you that the recording is finished uploading. But once it's finished, you can just click this view all recordings down here in the bottom right, and there you go. You can see that we have both of our recordings, and I can just click each of these little buttons and it will download those recordings to my hard drive. So I can get the WAV file, I can get the MP4 file, and I can also get the constant frame rate MP4. And why that's important is because a constant frame rate MP4 is going to make syncing your audio audio in post much easier. Now, I don't have a lot of problems with this in these days, but in the past, you've seen all kinds of issues where your audio just won't sync up. Well, a constant frame rate MP4 is going to solve that problem. So you can't obviously change the quality of your guest's video camera. In this case, she's in 720 and I'm in 1920 by 1080. But because I have the full files from both sources that are uncropped, it gives me a whole heck of a lot of opportunity to hide the resolution of her camera in post or do all kinds of cool overlays and things like that to cover it up. You're certainly not going to get that kind of thing in Skype. You don't get any choice, you kind of get whatever you get. You'll also notice this magic editor button, and I'm gonna click on that. And this brings us into a screen here, which allows us to put together a video file that they create for you if you don't want to do any editing. You can make it audio only or video only, and then just click next. And you can use these to remove background noise and normalize gain, which means all your audio will be the same level. Then click next, and I can choose full screen or I can choose where it's cropped, so it just shows the guests of each screen. Then I can go in here and I can add a custom logo and browse to that logo, click open, and now I can choose the position on the screen where that logo is. And if you were going to put something in the background, you could do that as well and add a custom frame, and then you'll have that in the background there, which is kind of nice. But I like the idea of having the full screen there, so I'm just gonna set that up like that. And then I'm gonna click next, and this takes us to the export screen. Now we can decide what resolution we want this exported at. And we'll just export this at 4K and choose a file name. And when I'm done, I will just click finish. And this is going to create this file and process it, and then we're going to be able to download it. Now you can see if we go into composed tracks, here's our recording one, and it is composing the track. It's not yet ready for download. Once it is completed, all you have to do is click on the download button to download your fully composed track. Now these files download to the download section of your computer, so wherever your standard download is for your browser, that's where they're gonna go. And you can see all of the files that we have downloaded when I click on my downloads. And there we go. So we've got the constant frame rate files, and we have the audio files, and then we have the composer file. And we also have just the regular MPEG files or the MP4 files that are not in a constant frame rate. That is a whole heck of a lot of files to work with to do really cool stuff. All your guest needs is the link. There's nothing to install. Everything is done through a browser. You can even have your guest join with a cell phone with no degradation in audio quality. If someone's connection drops or the computer locks up or reboots, it's all good. The locally recorded files are easily recoverable, and the session can just continue once the connection is reestablished. The Magic Editor gives you a bunch of really good options, and it delivers great video and audio quality right out of the box with very little effort. For most of us, the benefit is having the raw files so we can edit them on our own. And boy, does this give you so many options. So I'm gonna edit up my interview in Premiere Pro, but you can do this in any software, DaVinci Resolve or Hit Film or whatever you want. I just use Premiere, so that's where I'm doing it. I'm gonna drop in my audio files, and I'm gonna use this constant frame rate file and just drop that in there as well. And then I'm just going to right click on my file, and I'm gonna go ahead and create a new sequence from this clip. So there we go. Now we have my audio and video in there, and I'm just gonna drop in the WAV file. Now this is unnecessary because it's the exact same quality as the full file, but I wanna show you how to sync the WAV files. I'm gonna select both of these clips and go to synchronize. Then I'm going to select audio and click OK, and this guarantees that my clips are synchronized directly with the video, which is just perfect. Now I'm going to drag Monica's clips in here and do the same thing. So I'll drag in the video clip, and then I'll drag in the audio clip, and I'm going to select them and go ahead and synchronize these clips. And at this point, if you wanted to delete the audio from the video and just use the WAV files, you could certainly do that. I just mute it here, but you could also go ahead and adjust the level of your audio or edit your audio so it's better. You can see her audio is lower than mine, so I can just adjust the decibels there. And what I'm gonna do is put these over top of one another so they're synced up. I'm gonna right click on hers since it's in 720, and I'm gonna scale it to the frame. So now she is full framed here. The next thing I'm gonna do is just cut it up so it's a little more dynamic. But you can see that now we have a full frame video from her and me. If I remove her video by clicking the little eyeball button here, you can see my video comes up because it is underneath. And what I'm gonna do is kind of show you a couple of common editing tricks that you can do for a video like this. So I'm gonna go here. What I'll do is I'm gonna cut this here, and I'll just cut all the clips, and then I'm gonna play past here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut Monica's video clip, and what I'm gonna do is just move this up so it's visible. So now you can see when I play this, it'll automatically flip over when she's talking. And let's just let this run for a little ways. And then what I'm gonna do here is find a break, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut these clips again. And what I wanna do is add a little transition where we put us both on the screen. So what I'll do is select Monica's clip, and I'm gonna go up here and select the position and just add a keyframe for that. And I'm gonna go out a few frames, just drag my playhead out, and I'm gonna drag her over to the right-hand side here. And when I drag that out, it adds a keyframe. Now what I wanna do is go back to the first keyframe, and I'm gonna add a mask, and I'm gonna just drag this mask out across the entire screen. And there we go. I'm gonna click the mask path so it creates a keyframe there. And I'm gonna go out to the next position. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and drag that mask so that she is covering half of the screen. So what this is doing is it's gonna animate that mask so it pulls it across. And now if we go ahead and view that, you can see that she shifts over to the right in an animated way. So now all that's left is for me to go back to the first frame there, and I'm going to go ahead and select my footage and add a position in there. And then I'm gonna select Monica's, and we're gonna go to that second keyframe. Then I'm gonna select my footage, and I'm just going to move my video out so that we are both visible on the screen. So now it should animate from one to the other. You can see it pops from my full screen video to Monica's. And then we have a little transition here where it moves and we're both talking on the screen. And these are the kind of things that you can do with this footage. You can create all kinds of animations. You can flip back and forth to who's talking. You can adjust the volume levels. You can create all kinds of really, really nice professional video from your interviews. It's absolutely fantastic. And all you have to do is select the area that you want to export, and you can just go up to File and then Export Media, and you can select your preset. And I usually export either in 4K or 1080. In this case, I'm going to do it in 4K. I'm going to select my output name, and then I'm just going to click Save. And I'm gonna export this file. And so this file is free to be uploaded to YouTube, or you can put it in another edit for further editing. There are just so many awesome things that you can do with Riverside FM files, because you have everything that you need to create custom professional interview segments. It's awesome. And even if you're just doing custom co-hosting or something like that, it's really easy to do. Now, I will also say that you can edit these video files up, but you can just export the audio as well, so that you can actually create a podcast and a video all at once. And it just makes it so easy to do. Let's take a look at each result. Here's the Magic Editor result. Basically what this does is it records my audio and video to my local hard drive, but it's also recording your audio and video to your local hard drive, so that when we're finished recording, we get that quality directly from your machine with the right video and directly from my machine. What does it look like on your side?
On my side, I look fine. You're getting like choppy and a little pixelated when you're moving around.
Okay.
But that is as supposed to be, I believe.
Now keep in mind that Riverside can't fix poor cameras, or in this case, poor cameras and poor lighting. The audio is fantastic, and if the camera was more properly lit or higher quality, this would be much nicer. But it's better than I've seen, and it's par for the course with a guest who's not a YouTuber and doesn't film all the time. Now here's my exported clip. What does it look like on your side?
On my side, I look fine. You're getting like choppy and a little pixelated when you're moving around. Okay. But that is as supposed to be, I believe.
Yep, you're choppy and pixelated on this end as well.
Okay.
So the real test is when we get the video and we put it together and we see if it's high quality. The main difference is how I can switch between speakers, adjust audio, add transitions, and format it in any way that I choose to make the clips more interesting. There's just so much that you could do, like add an overlay and adjust video to remove some of the bad lighting issues. Seriously, if you're looking to do a professional podcast with a guest or a co-host, or video interviews that look and sound amazing, Riverside FM is the only solution you're ever gonna need. You can try it out for yourself using the link in the description. And if you're interested in how you can create animated overlays for your live streams using nothing but free software, check this playlist out. There's a whole bunch of them. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.